If you're launching a business this year, on whether it's freelancing, e-commerce, or a service business, forming an LLC can be one of the smartest and simplest steps you can take. It gives you legal protection, tax options, and a more professional presence. And here's something most people don't realize. You don't need to hire a professional or pay hundreds of dollars to get started. In fact, forming an LLC is easier than it looks, and in many states, it's completely DIY friendly. Watch this video to the end, and I'll walk you through each step. Let's start with the basics. LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. It protects your personal assets if your business runs into legal or financial trouble. That means if someone sues your business, they can't come after your personal bank account or home. On the tax side, LLCs are flexible. By default, you're taxed like a sole proprietor or partnership, meaning the profits pass through to your personal tax return. But here's the kicker. LLCs can also choose to be taxed as an S corporation, which can save thousands in self-employment taxes if you're profitable. This is one of the biggest reasons people choose LLCs over sole proprietorships. Want to understand how S Corp and LLC taxation differ and whether S Corp status could actually save you money? We've already published a deep dive on that topic. Check out the video LLC versus S Corp explained for small businesses, linked in the description and the card above. Okay, now let's jump right into step 1. Choose the right state to register in. Here's an important legal rule. You must register your LLC in the state where you're actively doing business, where you have clients, employees, or a physical presence. That's the law in all 50 states. Now, technically, you can form an LLC in a different state like Delaware or Nevada, even if you don't live in those states. And some people do this for privacy reasons or because Delaware has investor-friendly courts. But here's the catch. If you're doing business in your home state, you'll need to register as a foreign LLC there too. That means double filing, double fees, and possibly taxes in both states. So unless you have a legal or strategic reason, like outside investors or national operations, most small businesses are better off forming their LLC in the state where they actually operate. Step 2, pick a business name. It needs to be unique in your state and include LLC or Limited Liability Company at the end. You can check availability on your Secretary of State's website. And I also recommend grabbing the domain name and social handles while you're at it. Trust me, it's frustrating to build a brand and later realize the .com is taken. Step 3, appoint a registered agent. Every LLC needs a registered agent, someone who can receive legal and government documents on behalf of your business. You can be your own agent, but you must be available during business hours at your listed address. If you work remotely or value privacy, a registered agent service can be a smart choice. It's required in every state, so make sure to have this figured out before filing your paperwork. Step 4 is where you officially form your LLC. Most states call this the Articles of Organization, but the name can vary. In some states like Washington, the system automatically generates this when you apply for a business license online. So if you're in Washington like I am, this step may be bundled in. In other states, you'll upload a form with your business name, address, agent info, and pay a filing fee. Once approved, congratulations, you're legally in business. Once your LLC is officially approved, it's time to create your operating agreement. This document lays out how your company will run. While not required in every state, it's often requested by banks and helpful for multi-member LLCs. Even if you sketch out ideas early, you'll finalize it after your LLC is formed. It helps avoid future disputes, proves your LLC is real in the eyes of banks and courts, and defines how profits are split. Even if you're a solo owner, it adds protection. The good news, you don't need to write it from scratch. There are plenty of free and paid templates available online, including state-specific ones, that walk you through the standard clauses like ownership, management roles, and what happens if someone leaves the business. You can customize one of these templates in Word or Google Docs and store a signed version with your business records. An EIN, or Employer Identification Number, is like a social security number for your business. It's issued by the IRS and free to get. While you don't need an EIN just to form an LLC, you will need one if you want to open a business bank account, hire employees, or elect S Corp tax treatment. Even if not required, many single-member LLCs still get one for separation and credibility. You can apply online in 10 minutes. Opening a business bank account is quite important. You need to keep your personal and business finances completely separate. Otherwise, you risk losing the liability protection your LLC gives you. To open an account, most banks will ask for your LLC approval letter, EIN, and sometimes an operating agreement. Having these on hand makes the process smoother. Once you form an LLC, it's critical to stay compliant. Most states require an annual report or renewal fee to keep your LLC in good standing. Miss it, and your business could be suspended or penalized. Also, don't forget the new 2025 BOI filing with FINCEN. It's a federal requirement to disclose your LLC's beneficial owners. It's free, but mandatory. Now, here's a big one. Some states require quarterly tax filings, even if your business hasn't made any money yet. For example, in Washington, LLCs must file an excise tax return, typically quarterly, even with $0 in revenue. In California, you'll still owe the $800 minimum franchise tax each year. And in New York, sales tax returns may be required even with no sales. So check your state's specific rules and don't assume that no income means no filing. Final tips. Depending on your industry, you may also need local licenses, like food permits, contractor bonds, or resale certificates. And if you're dealing with multiple owners, investors, or legal complexity, a CPA or attorney can be a wise investment. If you know you're planning to stick with LLC taxation, be sure to check out my full video on LLC Tax Explained, 2025 edition. I've linked it in the description and in the card above. If you're profitable and wondering if S-Corp status could lower your taxes, check out my another full video on LLC versus S-Corp, linked above and below as well. Let's recap. Forming an LLC on your own in 2025 is totally doable and a smart way to start your business on solid ground. Just make sure you understand your state's rules and file the right documents. If this helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what kind of business you're starting.